Hi, I'm Jackie Sherrill. I'm here to talk about a very special friend, Gary Burley. Gary came from Oak Grove High School out of Oak Grove, Ohio. Played nose guard for me at University of Pittsburgh starting in 1973. A great player, a great teammate. Set the foundation for a defense that helped Pitt win the national championship in 1976. Gary played 10 years, 9 for the Cincinnati Bengals and 1 year for the Atlanta Falcons. Gary started ProStart over 10 years ago to help talented kids on and off the field to get a head start in life. And he has helped thousands of kids across the country. A cancer survivor, but right now Gary is in need of a kidney transplant. Please help me to help Gary by getting tested to see if you are a match, so Gary can live out his life helping other kids to reach their full potential. We love you, Gary, and God bless.
All right, guys, welcome to the NFL Legends Show. It's a little bit different show tonight. We've got a past guest on, former Cincinnati Bengal Gary Burley. Gary, it has to really make you feel good to hear somebody like Coach Sherrill speak of you that way.
Well, you know, Coach Sherrill has always been a mentor to me, starting in college and up to me turning pro. He's always been there when I needed him, and this video that he did was just phenomenal. The response that we got from it, he had over 3,000 views on it. So the word is getting out there for myself and about 100,000 other people that are in need of a kidney transplant.
Yeah, and let's just start from the beginning. In 2012, you went to the doctor. You found out that you had multiple myeloma. Do you want to explain to everybody what multiple myeloma is?
Well, it's a form of cancer. It's like a blood disease, and I took chemo for a year, and it wasn't getting any worse, and it wasn't getting any better. So the doctor suggested that I have a bone marrow transplant, and I was lucky enough to be able to use my own stem cells. So we did the bone marrow transplant, and that put it in remission. So far, I'm still in remission.
Yeah, and when we talk about this, now you get the problem with your kidneys. Did that have something to do with the cancer or the chemotherapy treatments?
Yeah, the chemotherapy contributed to it, but mostly, you know, it's probably from, you know, years of high blood pressure and things of this nature. But
yeah.
It's all controlled now. It's all controlled now.
Yeah, and I know with the kidney disease, it can be hard to detect, if not impossible. Correct?
Well, that's why I like to tell people that you need to get your kidneys checked, because there's no signs. You can go on until your kidneys fail. You know, when I got to a doctor, my kidneys were working at like 25%, and that's not good.
Yeah.
But I had no signs other than swelling and that type of thing, and you know, we finally got to the reason for what was going on, and I started dialysis like 2 years ago, and now I do that 3 days a week. But I don't want other people to do this if they don't have to. If you start getting checked now, getting your kidneys checked, getting checked for cancer, early detection is the best key.
Yeah, and the progress of kidney disease can be slowed with early treatment.
Oh yeah, you can slow it down, and but the good thing about that is, you know, you need to get checked.
Yeah, and
at least once a year.
Yeah, and from the research I did, this is not just getting checked at 55 or 60 years old. It affects people of all ages. And the thing that shocked me when I looked into this was like 15% of U.S. adults have chronic kidney disease. That's around 30 million people.
And they don't know it. A lot of them don't know it, and that's why I said you have to have the specific test done to determine if you have chronic kidney disease.
Yeah, and the leading cause of chronic kidney disease is diabetes and high blood pressure, and together they account for almost 3/4 of all chronic kidney disease. Yeah, had a hard time talking. Chronic kidney disease problems. You don't have to laugh at me and mock me. You know I'm from Indiana. Pronouncing things is tough. We already went through this.
Well, we forgive you. We forgive you from being from Indiana. That's okay. Nothing wrong with Indiana.
Well, you're from Ohio. That's not a whole lot better. It may even be a little worse, Gary.
But, that's true. Well, you never know. But like you said, man, you got to control your blood pressure. You got to control type 2 diabetes. You don't want it to gravitate toward type 1 diabetes, and that's where the health problems come in. That too, as well.
Yeah, and from what I read, certain ethnic groups also have a higher risk of it. African Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans.
I don't know that for sure, but I'm quite sure that African Americans, we all have, not all, but most of us have elevated blood pressure.
Yeah.
And, you got to find out what's causing that and do something about it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you talked about waiting on a kidney. More than 100,000 people in the U.S. are waiting for a kidney transplant. And the thing I saw was, I think it was somewhere between 15 to 20,000 people a year receive one. So the odds there aren't great.
Well, you've got to be patient, first of all, and you've got to get the word out about, what you're doing.
Yeah,
and that's why we're doing this awareness campaign, not only for myself, but for people that are suffering from this situation.
Yeah, and I know you're doing a lot to get the awareness up. You hold a charity golf event. You had some of your old teammates like Isaac Curtis, Lewis Breeden, Pete Johnson there. William Andrews, who was a teammate for a short time with the Atlanta Falcons. You want to talk a little bit about your celebrity golf event?
Well, I haven't done one yet for kidney disease, but that was for cancer.
Yeah.
And we were very successful with that and raised $100,000 for cancer research, and it was just amazing, the turnout. And my wife won't let me do anything now until the transplant is over, but as soon as we do, we want to do the same thing for kidney disease.
Yeah,
it's about awareness.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
No. I just was saying it's about awareness. A lot of people don't know it, and you don't have any kind of issues. I had early detection because I had this swelling that wouldn't go away, and it was the same thing with the cancer. I just had this unusual swelling, and I just went to my doctors, and they told me both times what was going on. So you just can't ignore stuff like that anymore. We're at a time now where medical research has done so many great things that if you don't take advantage of the opportunity, you'll miss out.
Yeah, and where are you getting treatment at right now then? Is it UAB?
Yeah, I'm still at UAB. Hey, they saved my life, so there's no reason for me to change or go anywhere else. I was in the hospital for 4 months with the bone marrow transplant. I was there for 3 months with the transplant, got out for 2 days, and they discovered this, they call it vegetation. It's some sort of virus that it can kill you. And one day I was in bed, got up to use the bathroom, and I couldn't make it back to the bed. So that tells you how strong it was.
Yeah.
Got to the hospital and was there for another month. But God was with me.
Well, and I would think that faith has to play a lot into your patients.
Oh, no doubt about it, man. God is the only thing that gets you through this. And, your family and my wife and that type of thing. She was with me every day. I mean, let me tell you a little bit about this woman, man. She was the vice president of Birmingham division of Birmingham, Alabama Power, which is a utility company here. And she kept the lights on for 500,000 people and then kept my light on every day.
Yeah.
So I gotta send a shout out to her, because without her, man, there's no telling where I'd be right now.
Yeah. And as we said, you need a donor. Do you want to let everybody know where they can go, where they can find out if they're a match or not?
Sure. You can go online at UAB and look at the kidney transplant, and there is a form you can fill out. But what you have to have is my name, Gary Burley, and my birth date, 12/8/52. And that's all you need. And my blood type is O positive.
O positive? Okay. The other thing I saw was there's a phone number you can call also, which is, I believe, 888-822-7892. And I guess you go through the same process there, give them the same information. Now, this is something, if somebody's living in Washington State or Cincinnati, can they still call in and do this, or do they have to be in that area?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it, man. They can call in from anywhere. And I tell you what, it has been amazing. The people that are interested and have called in and just really encouraged me to know that people that don't even know me have called in to try to be tested.
Yeah.
So that's great, man. Y'all keep up the work.
So I would assume you have to be O positive to have any chance of being a match, correct?
Well, it's the blood type and it's a tissues type. So they can determine that by testing you.
Okay, so there's a possibility if somebody's out there and they're not O positive, that they could still call in and possibly be a match.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's one of the first things they're going to ask you is about your blood type, and then they'll go through the test will focus on tissue as well.
Okay, so I assume you're still doing dialysis. What is that, 2 or 3 days a week?
Oh my God, yeah, it's 3 days a week, and I, you take dialysis for 3 hours and 45 minutes, and then after dialysis, you go home and sleep for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So that's my day, 3 days a week.
All right, and the other thing I want to bring up, because this is the thing, when I first interviewed you, this was like 3 years ago, the thing that stuck out to me when I read about you was the Pro Start Academy, which you started about a decade ago. Do you want to tell people a little bit about that also and the work you do with the kids?
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. I'm very proud of that. When I was a senior in high school, I met John Hicks and Jack Tatum, 2 Ohio State football players. And they asked me, after beating them in a foot race, where was I going to college? And I told them Westinghouse. And they thought I was talking about Westinghouse College. I was talking about Westinghouse Appliance Manufacturers because my dad told me if I didn't go to college, I was going to work.
Yeah.
So, make a long story short, they adopted me, and they came to all my football games. They trained me. They introduced me to the professors at Ohio State that I would need, and ended up, I said one day I'm going to do the same thing for other kids that they did for me. And we started Pro Start, a football and an academic academy 10 years ago. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it this year because of my health, but I'm ready after my kidney transplant, when the Lord says it's going to happen, that we can get back to work.
Yeah, I think the thing that was the most impressive to me about that is it wasn't just the fundamentals of football. You stressed the academics as much, if not more.
Oh, no. There's no way in the world you can make it in this world without the academics. And I tell you a short story. All my kids in the program Nobody has ever failed to say this when I ask them. Okay, I say, you don't get your college degree and you get drafted by the NFL. And I say, well, what are you going to do? He said, well, I'm going to get me one of them $20 million contracts. I said, no, you're not. I said, you might get a contract from the NFL, but what does $20 million mean to you? And they go on and on and on about what they're going to do, how they're going to spend it. And I break it down to them. I said, okay, first of all, out of that $20 million, there's only a percentage of that that's guaranteed, and that is taxable. So once you pay 35, 40% taxes or whatever the tax rate is nowadays, you've got agents' fees, you got this and that. And say, for instance, you tear up your knee and can't play. What do you do now? You have no college degree, you have nothing. So the best thing to do is to have a second, a background. I mean, not a background, but a backup plan. And that is to get your college degree and get it in something that's going to get you an opportunity to be successful in life. And then they get it, because kids aren't told these type of things. All they see is the riches and the fame and the girls and the this and the that. And they don't think about what happens if you don't make it. So that's what we teach in our school, along with the academics that they're going to need to not only get in school, but stay there once they get there.
All right. Once again, let's stress this. Go ahead and give everybody the information to email at UAB Medical. Also, after he gives that, if you're on the show, you're listening to the show on thegruelingtruth.net, you can go to the write-up on the show, and it gives the phone number for UAB Medical Center and all the information you need. You want to let them know that email one more time, Gary?
UAB.com. That's basically it.
All right, guys. I can say this, Gary. You're the first person we had back on the Legend Show twice. And the reason for that is from the moment I met you, and just from the guys that I've interviewed after, the guys that I've talked to, like Coach Sherrill, that knew you or know you, nobody ever has a bad word to say about you. And you're the kind of guy that when I call you or we call each other, you can feel the smile coming through the phone from Gary. I mean, Gary is a great guy. He was a heck of a football player, but he was a lot more, or is a lot more than a football player. And anybody that can help out here, if you can't donate the kidney, you call in, you don't match, or for some reason you don't want to, share this show. Let's get the word out, and let's help Gary out. Gary, you have everybody at the Grueling Truth's prayers. You know how much I think of you, and it was great having you on the show tonight.
Well, thank you, Mike, and I really appreciate you helping us out on this. It's not just me; it's 100,000 people around the country. And the big thing that I'd like to leave with people is that you survive the same way with one kidney, but you got to take care of that one kidney and take care of your kidneys before you get into a situation that like I am in right now. And I reach out to all people that need kidneys, all people that have relatives and friends that are in the same shape that I'm in. And I just say stay strong, because that's all you can do right now.
All right, Gary, we're going to let you go. Real quick, I want to remind everybody tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern, Brian Schmidt, myself, and CFL legend Robert Drummond will be in for the first installment of the weekly CFL Pick'em Show. Wednesday, we'll have former light heavyweight champion Michael Spinks on the show at 6 o'clock Eastern, so make sure you check us out. So for Gary Burley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.
Thanks.